solutions. Turn it up, let it be. Where the steady hand, where the real thing. Fast and sustainability, customer first always. We don't chase problems, we prevent them. From the first setup to the final report, we bring the world.
All right. Bow, bow, bow. I didn't hear that. I didn't have the music going on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Think About It. Today, it's been a while since we got to get back here, James, but me, Johnny Nunn, your host, and our co-host, James Anderson from MeterLink Solutions. And today, we're going to talk some more about some sub-metering and utility billing content. So, buckle up. Let's have some fun today. Ready to dive into this, James?
I'm ready.
How you been, by the way? We haven't got a chance to get together for a while, so how you been?
Just working. We're getting more properties and just plugging along.
Yeah, you guys look like you've been pretty busy over there.
Yeah, just getting ready to launch a new property on Monday.
New property on Monday. Well, congrats to you, buddy. I'm glad to see you guys are doing well over there. I know you guys call me a lot for, you know when you need help and service and all that sort of thing. So It's been good to see you guys growing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
So we talked a little bit, and you had a topic that I guess came up this week with some customers because of some new customers or new properties coming online. So you wanted to talk a little bit about some differences that you guys offer that, especially in like the late fee game and all that, because a lot of people like to slap on late fees just because they just want to throw the late fees on there just because everybody has different circumstances and
Right.
especially on a new intake, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 months for somebody to kind of figure out all new billing companies come in and taking over and who that is. Is this, I got a new bill, is that even real? You know what I mean? You get all those type of things. Sometimes payments lag on that first kind of startup. So tell me a little bit about what difference do you guys do in that realm, or how do you guys handle that type of situation in your all new startups?
Well, one of the things about not only am I a senior account manager, but I get to oversee the billing department. Mm-hmm. And I get to review reports before they go out. And you get to know the names of people as you keep billing.
Yeah.
And I also pull up information on late fees before they're assessed. And so what I've noticed is I've seen examples where folks who have a very good payment history, all of a sudden they're late. And it's kind of shocking to see them on this report.
Yeah.
And so I would tell the billing department, I think I'm going with my gut. There's something off here. Don't tag them. And then I'll shoot them an email and say, the due date was this. You have a very good payment history. We didn't tag you for a late fee. Figured something's going on. And in these cases, something has happened.
Yeah.
One person switched debit cards. Another person simply forgot. We had one that was in the hospital. And so those situations, I think, is when you're showing some grace. Situations of grace are those situations. Startups. Sometimes one property in particular, we were given some outdated information. We didn't know it at the time.
Sure.
But the first billing month, there wasn't even 50% of the people that had paid. And I'm looking at this going, wow.
I think that's kind of common for when you're doing a takeover. People, new company, especially in this particular industry, because it's not like it's coming from Duke Energy or some big city or big, state-ran energy company. It's coming from a private company that just says utility billing company, and they change hands sometimes. Sometimes often, like if the billing vendor isn't very good, they may switch hands every couple of years. And so when you see that, they don't necessarily think, what's maybe a bogus bill, or is it legit? I never heard of you.
Sure.
That kind of things happen, so they don't necessarily make the payments right away on them because they don't know if this is a real thing or am I being scammed. Those kind of questions do pop up. I've seen that happen a few times in my experience. I'm sure you guys are taking an approach that you're actually kind of not just mass late fee everybody. You're actually, people have different circumstances, right?
Right.
People have things happen, and you're not just, you got to pay your late fee. I'm sorry, like you guys don't hold on to the late fee. You're not really like big on like, you only get one late fee a year. That's it. Like you don't let them abuse the situation, but
right.
You also look out for the people that, hey, things happen. We understand. We're not here just to throw charges at you just because. We understand you go through circumstances. That kind of sounds like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I think some more common sense. I hate late fees. I know nobody wants to get hit with a late fee. Period. But I think there's some accountability. Late fees have to be in a system for accountability. But if you can build strong relationships with people and build that trust, with like, look, we know you got hit with a high bill. You had a water leak, you had a toilet leak, and your bill is $500. We understand it's going to take you about 4 or 5 months to catch up because the future billing is still going to be there. But you know what? We'll give you 4 or 5 months to pay the bill without late fees. And we'll document it. I personally will keep a reminder on my computer every month so that the billing department doesn't tag them with a late fee. To me, it's not worth the aggravation of the late fee.
Well, I noticed how I heard you, and I think because I was out there working on a property, this lady had come and spoke very highly of you, and she said, yeah, James is so awesome because you guys took over, and they were gone, I think, or something. But anyway, they got like 3 months of bills they hadn't paid, and that had been, I don't know, I think they might have even had a leak that we found. They weren't around to be found, but anyway, they had a kind of large bill. You guys worked with them, say, hey, we can divide these payments up over 4-month period or 6-month period, whatever. I forget what deal you guys. And she just was very like, no one's ever done that. Like, I don't have anybody that works with us like that. Like, they're just super happy that they had somebody that cared. Hey, you got a $1,000 bill, you need to pay it. Like, yeah, I get that, but sometimes it ain't that easy, and things happen. So it sounds like you guys are treating it case by case and not just blasting people with late fees or charges they don't necessarily need to have.
Well, like the property that we had some outdated information on, like I said, there was about less than half the people that had paid. And what we charge late fees that first month. Then we go into the second month and we're getting updated information. And so by the time it was time to apply late fees, I spoke with my boss, and I said, I don't believe we should charge late fees for this property. I think we should give the entire property a grace for this month. I said there was too many issues of updating records, and there may be more out there. And they agreed. He agreed. Ownership agreed. And I sent the property manager and the HOA president an email saying we're not going to charge late fees. We're hoping this third month we can turn some things around, which we did. We have accurate information on 77 of the 94 units. So I felt a lot better about that, come time. And then when it was time to hit late fees for that third month, there was only about maybe 17 to 20 accounts.
Well, that's a practice I don't see much in the industry. I see, like I said, usually when you sign up, it's just the first billing happens. If you didn't pay, a late payment is assessed, and then you just move on, right? Sounds like you guys are, late fees aren't really the priority in the beginning or you're not a priority, but it's just not part of it. Like, we understand there's like a little bit of a grace period here, so we're going to put late fees on after the grace period is kind of sunk in. It's a case-by-case basis, and which I think is kind of refreshing to see this, somebody taking that approach.
Well, I asked the billing department, I kind of made it a mandate, and it was approved, to go 2 full business days after the due date to give people a chance to, because I've seen payments come in the day after, and even 2 days after. And I know what's going to happen is they're going to short pay that next bill by the late fee amount. And then it's going to just compile, and then you're going to end up waiving it.
Yeah.
So I thought it's really not worth the aggravation, and so I got it approved. So on the third day after the due date, whether it's a residential property or a commercial property, we're giving them time to pay. Like
so it sounds like you're even giving them even more extension.
Yeah, we starting this April. Residential properties in Florida will be given a 22-day turnaround from 20, so a 2-day increase. Out-of-state properties will get 24 days instead of 22. And then commercial properties, because you deal with accounting, bills are going to like example, Publix is huge. You've got Aaron's Rent-A-Center, you got Dollar Tree, you got all these commercial units that occupy. Yeah. So you have to go through their accounting departments. So we're going to start them with a 25-day turnaround and wait till day 28 to apply late fees. So I
if you're a property manager out there, you need to be listening to this. It affects you, because what happens is customer doesn't pay the bill on time, assesses a late fee. Typically what happens, if it happens more than a couple times, people call in and start complaining. You have a tenant that's upset. So giving little people extra time and giving a little grace reflects on you not having as much customer service calls coming in and complaining about an issue that they don't necessarily need to. And it's much easier that way, because then you're going to balk at waiving a late fee to make a customer happy and go away. I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. Like,
I can tell you honestly, since March of last year to today, I personally have removed less than 10 late fees, and that's phenomenal. That shows that even what we were doing in the past, applying late fees a couple of days after the due date, after a holiday, waiting like 3 days because people are traveling, and it's easy to forget a bill when you're traveling. Or you've hosted, you've had the whole families come in, you got to clean up the house and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sympathetic to that. I've been in this over 21 years.
I just did it last week. I went to pay a credit card and realized I forgot to pay it last month. I don't know how I overlooked it, but I did. So like it happens.
Right. And so I just, like this one lady that I talked to the other day, she had surgery just like 2 months ago. And the strangest thing happened is the bank returned the check she made through the bank in February. It came back just the other day. And I said, well, ma'am, I can't explain what your bank did. All I can do is I'll tell you that you won't get a late fee. The next bill is going to be going out pretty soon. Don't worry about it. Just send in your check. If you have any questions, just give me a call. She's so elated. She goes, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate you listening to my tale of woe. Yeah. And I said, it's not a problem. I said, because we all go through this. Yeah. And if you're going through that situation and you make a phone call to customer service, you want somebody on that other end to care.
What's refreshing to see a business that care about customer service, number one, but it ain't just flock them through. Like you actually talk to them, you care about them, you'll listen to their story within reason. And you're not locked into saying, well, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry about the late fee, but I can't take it off, or I can't fix your issue. Or so you seem, it's just refreshing to see a company that actually shows a little caring about their customers and what they're dealing with, and did not just treat them like they're humans, not some sort of a number.
Right. Yeah, I don't like that. Even in the beginning, it's like, okay, due date is the 28th, 29th, late fee, no matter what, slap it on. It's like, okay, well, to me, I don't want to generate revenue with late fees. Like I don't want I know it's necessary. You have to tag on late fees, but if we give some allowance, give some extra days of grace, and then, like I said, I review the accounts, every account before the billing department applies those late fees, because they don't see what I see. The people that I've dealt with, the people that I've talked with, I've dealt with, a mother-daughter situation on a property. A leak situation where we helped them and we didn't tag them with late fees, and they were very appreciative. The leak alerts, that was one of the things.
Well, I want to talk about that for a second. I'm glad you brought that up, because I figured if we're going to hear, let's just talk about a few of the things you guys have adopted. Some of my principles as Integrity Meter Solutions. You guys that's why we partnered and got this relationship, because you guys have very much like-minded. And I want you to give me a few of your responses you've gotten from people, because you guys have been, like I taught you how to be proactive and using the system to work for yourself. So you've been proactive at reaching out to people when you see anomalies in water usage, or in cases we find on leaks what we're finding. Can you give us a little bit of response that you've gotten from your customers on how they responded? You actually responded that way?
Oh man, it's night and day. I mean, if I got a usage alert, I'd send an email that morning, okay, and would advise them. I just don't tell them. The system will say, this unit has used 12 gallons per hour in the past 24 hours. Well, I just don't send them an email on that saying, hey, you just used 12 gallons. I'll go into the system and go back. Sometimes I'll go back a couple of days and say, okay, this unit has used 800 gallons in the past day and a half. So I say, folks, I don't know what's going on, but you may want to check. The first thing to check is the toilet. Now, some of these have come back as I'm refilling my swimming pool, but there's been other situations where a toilet leak was spotted, a slab leak. The other one, that the company left the water running. The hose was just running out in the yard.
Yeah.
But because of those alerts, these things were spotted. And so the response has been, it is so great to have a company that gives us a heads up.
Well, I knew about the slab leak one because you had called me about going out to run some service, because the lady didn't know about turning the water on or off. So I went over there and looked at it, and sure enough, I told her, I said, listen, you can see the meter was turning and clearly everything was off. I said, you have a leak in the system somewhere.
Right.
Obviously, I can't tell you there. And what kind of found out it was underneath the slab. So it's cool to see a company that take the tools you have, because you and I have access to the same tools, right? But a lot of companies don't use the tools. They just get the usage, what they're looking for, bill it, and that's it.
I'm not interested in just coming to work and just making sure invoices go out.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that every customer is billed accurately. We know there's cases where if there's bad equipment, we've had situations where we've had to back bill, due to repairs. It wasn't anything that we did that was wrong. It was just due to repair. When you're dealing with technology and equipment, meters, stuff's going to go bad. Yeah. But the thing is to react quickly. As soon as the equipment is changed out, change it in the billing system. Billing will let me know. I will alert the unit owner or the resident and say, here's what happened. I'll even go further to say, look, your next bill is going to be this, approximately. And at least it gives them an idea of what to look out for, instead of just getting that bill for $500. So I'm always trying to be ahead of it and give people a heads up so that they can know, because I raised two boys. You know, family, you got bills, repairs, air conditioning, all sorts of stuff happens in life. But I really do want to be sensitive to that. Yeah. And I believe that if we take care of people, if we work it as a partnership, then you know what, we're going to grow more. Because people talk to each other. They talk at church. They talk in business. They talk everywhere. The company water cooler. And if they say, hey, go with these guys. I'm living on a property where I'm tired of getting late fees. As soon as the next day's over, I get slabbed with it. Every time I call, they just will not give me a break. Well, I want to be one that say, you know what, call this guy James at MeterLink Solutions. You know, these guys are great. And that's how I see
that's
us
the
really
feedback
growing.
I've been getting to all the customers that I've talked to that are using you guys, that I've either pushed your way, or they ask people call and ask all the time, do you recommend any billing companies? And for a long time I didn't really want to push anybody because there's so many of them and I don't really know their billing practices. I can only go by my experience working for them, and sometimes I don't want to put my name affiliated with that aspect of it because I can't vouch for what they do. But with you guys and knowing you from as long as I have, we used to work together. Knowing the owners of this business, and I know their ethics and what they're about. I know you guys were putting together, I don't know, it's not that we ain't reinventing the wheel, but you're reinventing how we approach it. Actually, the word really is proactive. They're actually proactively looking for leaks in your system, trying to identify them as they happen versus waiting for just get a bill in 30 days and say, oh, I'm sorry you had all this usage, but here's your bill. So we're, by your approach and our philosophy, we're not allowing customers to get those high bills in most cases. We're catching them before they happen, so the customer never gets that high water bill, prevents that customer service call. So it's all proactive thinking to prevent less customer service calls, less high bills, less angry tenants, less angry property managers. I mean, that's the whole purpose of all of that. So if that sounds something like you want to have in your property, I would say call MeterLink Solutions, Integrity Meter Solutions, to your service provider, and let us be able to service you the way you should be serviced. We're local in the Tampa Bay area, so we're a local here. We're really looking for local partners to really partner with so we can really service you. Not that we can't service you for out of state, but we can. It's just a little bit more challenging. But if you're in our Tampa Bay area and our Florida market, we can get you quickly and timely.
And don't forget our Phoenix area.
And we do have a branch out in our Phoenix area that also services Arizona, so don't forget about that. So we are trying to. Not reinventing the wheel, but we are reinventing how we approach this, how we use the wheel.
Let me put it to you this way, because a lot of times, senior management gets slammed with emails. They're the next level up, the next tier up. You got your customer service manager, you got your account manager, you got your senior account manager, then you have your VPs and presidents and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you that very rarely do I get an email from customer service with an angry resident about a high bill.
That's awesome.
And I know it's because of the usage alerts. We are letting people know. We're holding them accountable. If they don't respond or do anything with it, that's on them, though. But we've done our part to say there's something that you need to look into. Look into it.
And while we're here, let me address this because I think it's important. For us to be able to do what we do, we have to use our system, right? So if you're a property and you're using a different system than what we use, not that we can't be proactive like that, but we won't be able to be as proactive as we were using our system. So keep that in mind. We work with all the systems. That's not a problem, but not all of them work the same. So we're exclusive to what systems we like to push out there because we know we can use their systems to work with our systems in place, so we can be proactive like that. So it takes those things to understand.
Well, but
that.
even with that, with one of the manual read properties that we have, as soon as the reads come in and they're processed, then I pull a high-low usage report.
Sure.
And I'm sending it to them a few days well ahead of time before the billing, so they can at least get a heads up on it.
Yeah.
Real low units, real high usage. But I do have to wait till those reads come in.
Yeah, because you're manual reading, so
But I'm still not ignoring sending them a report.
I get it. You're still doing that. I'm just saying we won't be able to, on the daily.
Right.
If something happens.
But even a week's heads up, if there's an issue with the unit, like a toilet or anything like that, at least they can stop it a week early.
Yeah.
So that usage is still going to get billed because it's the read. But at least, 1 week into the next billing cycle, if they can stop that leak, then the other 3 weeks are going to be low usage. Mm-hmm. And so the next billing is going to be fine, So
it's really about taking the extra, it's extra labor. Let's just be real. But we feel like the extra time is well worth it because the quality that we're providing, you're going to get less customer service calls, less angry tenants, less angry property managers, and all that goes a long way, especially with the higher ups and the presidents and the VPs who don't want to hear all those problems. So making those problems go away by using this software and using a different mindset and approach We like to win around here. That's what it comes down to, right? We like to win. I'm a winner. He's a winner. We like to win. We like to win what we do. So
Well, we call it here Meterlink Strong.
Meterlink Strong. So we like, we come from the sports world. We're very competitive. So we kind of bring that competitive nature to what we do in business. So, we talk about winning. It's not to be boastful, but it's because, we have a mindset, I want to win. And so to win big, I have the mindset of I got to do these things. So
Well, that's why I'll be honest with you. That's why you see a couple trophies at my desk.
yeah, that's it.
And that's from coaching.
Well, you'll see if
softball
you're
teams.
in the other office that we have some trophies where we won some awards and this and that, and I put them out proudly because I'm proud of winning. I want to win.
Right.
Winning at business is a good thing. Winning at Meterlink Solutions, winning there's a good thing. Winning a business is the point, right? So
Well, it's also wanting to be the best every day.
Yeah.
It's being the best at what you do. Now, there was an old wrestler, Tully Blanchard, and he was part of the Four Horsemen, a very heel group. He was always hated.
Yeah.
But he would stick his four fingers up, and he would say, "This is a symbol of excellence. Be the best at whatever you do."
Yeah, I agree.
And I took that to heart. He was a bad guy, but what he said made sense.
Well, I agree with that.
Whatever you're going to do, try to be the best at it.
to be a winner, there's a mindset to that.
Right.
And it necessarily doesn't have to be competitive, but we're just competitive in nature because we're a sports people, right? But to win, you got to have it's a mindset of execution, leadership, showing up all the time. When people are gone, like you're the guy still here working. That's what winners do. They do
Right.
the extra stuff. They work hard. They work probably the hardest. If you want to be the excellent winner at what you're doing, you're going to put in the time when long people who just want to come in and go, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they're not winning, and that's why you and I are going to win.
That's right.
So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Another episode of Think About It. Hope you got something out of this. If there's any other topics, metering-wise, that you guys would like for us to cover, because we haven't really done much lately. There was a lot of stuff we did last year, but we'd love to hear what you got to say, and we'd love to be able to share with you any insights or advantages or any pros, cons, whatever it is you got. We'd love to talk to you. James, you got anything you want to share with them before we get out of here today?
I just want to say congratulations to my brother for getting promoted at his job.
Hey, I appreciate you, and I heard what you had to say about me. Just remember, I know where you live, and it ain't nothing for me.
Uh-oh.
It ain't nothing for me to whoop a man's ass. Just saying. All right, guys, we love you. Come back next time, and we'll talk to you then.
Think about it.
Think about it.